When we all started watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, we fell in love with the Pink Ranger, and Kimberly Hart stole our hearts with her sweetness and beauty. Beyond that sweet face is a warrior who has demonstrated the great power of a true ranger. Although her role as the Pink Power Ranger may have seemed very short because, like Jason, Zach, and Trini, Kimberly left the series, but she did so in the 3rd season. She is the longest-running female Power Ranger as the Pink Ranger and the 4th longest-running Ranger among all the Rangers. Her story is not only seen in the TV series, but we can also see her in the comics, in which we have learned more about her life and even a new transformation. When Zordon called the 5 youngsters and chose them as Power Rangers, the story of Kimberly, a girl dedicated to gymnastics to whom Zordon gives the pterodactyl power coin, which was the only flying Zord at the time, began. His weapon of attack is the power bow, which works for close and long-distance combat. The Pink Ranger suit was distinguished from the other Ranger suits because it was the only suit with a skirt, and the reason for this is because the Power Rangers come from a Japanese series called Super Sentai. In the United States, they used the Super Sentai scenes when the Rangers were already transformed and only added scenes with the American actors. Because the Yellow Ranger of Super Sentai was a man, he didn't wear a skirt, and that's why the Yellow Ranger of Power Rangers didn't wear a skirt either, since those scenes were from Super Sentai. Although at first Kimberly is a good-hearted character who comes across as the typical sweet but somewhat naive girl, she changed her way of thinking when she switched bodies with Billy, as this helped her to understand the problems of others and she was able to see life from another point of view. In addition to gymnastics, Kimberly had also taken dance classes and had been seen with other skills such as designing flower arrangements, singing, and playing the guitar. Her gymnastic skills have helped her in many battles, as she uses these skills to better jump and attack her opponents. When Tommy Oliver arrives at Angel Grove School, Kimberly is attracted to him, but the moment Rita casts a spell on Tommy, he begins to behave hostilely towards her. After breaking the spell, Tommy apologizes and they begin a relationship. This relationship grows stronger when Tommy loses his Green Ranger powers and Kimberly still supports him. Unfortunately, when Tommy loses his powers for the 2nd time, he leaves Angel Grove and the relationship also ended. Then Tommy returns as the White Ranger, and they started their relationship again. This relationship has been the most famous of the entire franchise, as they are also seen together in the first Power Rangers movie from 1995. Despite this, in the Power Rangers Turbo movie, Kimberly appears with Jason the Red Ranger and many thought they were together, plus when Divatox put a spell on them both, Kimberly told Tommy that she was with Jason. This was said under the spell, as Divatox knew this would fill Tommy with jealousy and cloud his judgment. Still, many fans have commented that Jason and Kimberly also had a relationship because of what was seen in this movie, and because in Power Rangers Zeo, Kimberly sent a breakup letter to Tommy saying she had found someone else. Kimberly's departure from the Power Rangers left a huge void among the fans, but as we said at the beginning, Kimberly is a great gymnast and a coach, which sought her to participate in the Pan Global Games held in Florida, USA. After this, Kimberly chooses Kat to replace her, even though she had already been under the spell of Rita and Lord Zed and had taken Kimberly's power coin from her. Despite this, when the spell was broken, Kimberly saw something special in Kat and chose her to be her replacement. Like the other members of the Mighty Morphin team, Kimberly appeared in some important battles such as the legendary battle, the battle with the Megazords in Cosmic Fury, and Jason's battle against Golder in Beast Morphers. In all these battles she only appeared transformed, just like her short duration in the special episode to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the franchise. For this special episode there was a lot of controversy with this character since the actress was about to reach an agreement with the producers, but then said she would not be able to be in the filming because she did not like the story they had written for her character. Although this was Kimberly's last in the TV series, the Boom Studio Comics talk more about her life and what happened after she gave up her power to Kat. After a while, when the Mighty Morphin were off Earth, Zordon reactivates the Pink Ranger powers that were still dormant in Kimberly to do one last battle on Earth. Kimberly calls her friends Zack and Trini, who still remained on Earth, to join her as the Black and Yellow Rangers. In addition, she recruited two brothers to be the Red and Blue Rangers, leaving Kimberly as the leader of the group, being the first pink leader of the Power Rangers. This comic shows the events that led Kimberly to write Tommy the letter seen in Power Rangers Zeo, and also references that the other guy she had a relationship with was Jason. This all happened in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Pink comics, which are more dedicated to Kimberly. In the regular comics, Kimberly never left the Mighty Morphin team and her relationship with Tommy always continued. However, in another dimension there is another Kimberly who lived a different story, because in that universe Tommy Oliver took another path. Even though Jason broke Rita's spell, Tommy Oliver decided to remain a villain and then destroyed Rita so he could stay as the leader. In that other dimension, Tommy Oliver, now better known as Lord Draken, cast a spell on Kimberly and transformed her into Ranger Slayer. With this transformation, Kimberly was evil and served faithfully to Lord Draken, in addition to a spectacular costume change which has become very famous among Power Rangers fans. The story of this character in the comics is extensive, since there are other comics dedicated only to Ranger Slayer that talk more about his story in the other dimension. If you want to know more about all these comics, you should stay tuned to this channel, as we always talk about the stories of these comics. In addition to all these comics that have been published, the actress who plays Kimberly decided to create another alternate history about the Mighty Morphin team called The Return. Although many thought that this story was going to be only about Kimberly's life, the reality is that it has been about the entire Mighty Morphin team 22 years in the future after they defeated Rita and Lord Zed. Catherine Hillard, or better known as Kat, is the second and last Pink Ranger of Mighty Morphin, although she was not the last Ranger of the team. The first curious fact about this Ranger is that the actress who plays this character has the same name, but the actress's name is spelled with C and the character's name is spelled with K. Perhaps many do not consider her as a legendary Ranger, but no one can deny that she is one of the most famous Rangers in the history of the franchise and has a spectacular career. Kat appeared in 96 episodes, including the 9 episodes of Alien Ranger, 1 movie, and 2 special anniversary episodes. This Ranger was in 3 different teams, Mighty Morphin, Turbo, and Zeo, but always used the color pink. Kat started in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers series as a supporting character and then became one of the main characters. She grew up in Australia, was involved in training police dogs and being a diver and swimmer, although she later had a minor accident in a competition. Kat was unlucky enough to have a very similar story to Tommy, and perhaps this is what brought them together in the future, but let's start from the beginning. Her story begins when she was briefly bewitched by Rita and became part of the villains team. She was even the main villain for 2 episodes, but the spell lasted for 8 episodes and she even became a monster. Even though the Rangers managed to defeat the monster, Kat still had the spell, but little by little that spell faded. Because Rita and Zed took Kat back to the villain's command center, she took the opportunity to retrieve the Pink Ranger power coin that Rita had stolen earlier. Alpha 5 detected the energy from the power coin again and was able to quickly teleport Kat back to Zordon's command center. Shortly after that event, Kimberly told the Rangers that she had to leave for Florida for a competition and recommended Kat to be the new Pink Ranger. Everyone thought it was an excellent idea and Kimberly gave the power coin to Kat. The strange thing about this event is that here there was no transfer of power like what happened with the other previous Rangers, and they did not have to use the sword, it was something simpler. Kat was a Mighty Morphin Power Rangers for 18 episodes, counting the Alien Rangers, and then she became a Power Ranger Zeo. Obviously, having obtained the Zeo power doesn't mean she no longer had Mighty Morphin powers, as she would use those powers again in the future. In the Power Rangers, Team Zeo was also a Pink Ranger and had to fight different villains, since the main villains of this season were the Machine Empire. In the Power Rangers Zeo season, Kat met Tanya, who becomes her best friend. The funny thing about this is that the two actresses also became very good friends in real life and create content on social networks about Power Rangers. Although many think that Kat fell in love with Tommy quickly after Kimberly left, the reality is that this was not the case. Kimberly had fallen in love with someone else, and for this reason Tommy was depressed, so Kat introduced him to Heather. Tommy and Kat had already met this woman, but despite this relationship did not work out either, because being a Ranger complicated a lot of things for Tommy. Kat comforted Tommy and eventually helped him understand that Kimberly was already gone. Basically, she was a good friend. When Zeo's season was over, we got the second Power Rangers movie called Turbo, a Power Rangers movie. In this movie we got to see the delivery of the new Turbo power, and in this team, Kat was also the Pink Ranger. Despite being the Turbo movie, we saw that Kat transformed into a Zeo Ranger for a short time when she was about to fall into the river, and she did this to protect herself from the fall. In this movie the Rangers got to meet the new villain, a space pirate named Divahatox, who awakened a powerful villain much like Dark Spectre. After so many struggles in the Power Rangers Turbo season, Kat transferred the power to Cassie and then decided to go to London to start her career as a dancer. Although in the TV series that was all we saw of that relationship at the time, in the comics we were given a little more information. In a special comic celebrating 30 years of the franchise, they tell us the story of Kat and Tommy's wedding, but also show the reunion after they said goodbye in the TV series. Because Tommy was going to move to another place in order to study, Kat tells him that having a long-distance relationship would be too complicated, and it all ends in an emotional embrace. It is not known how long it was after they said goodbye, but according to the conversation the two had at a meeting where the Mighty Morphin Team Rangers reunited, apparently several years had passed since Tommy had already become a doctor. This meeting may have been after the Dino Thunder season, and at that meeting, they both confirmed their love. This led them to begin their relationship, and several years later they had a son named JJ, who had always been thought to be Tommy's successor as the Green Ranger. After this, Kat appeared in the legendary battle, and because she only appears transformed, it is said that she was part of Team Zeo. Kat and Tommy moved to the old Reefside house in California, the same place from the Dino Thunder season, and there they lived with their son JJ. Some time later, Tommy disappeared and several Rangers from different dimensions started looking for him. All this happened in the special episode celebrating the 25th anniversary of the franchise in the Super Ninja Steel season. Later, Kat was also kidnapped after being tricked by a robot that looked like Tommy, and, in this episode, Kat was treated as a legendary ranger. In this episode we could see that Kat used the Turbo power even though Tommy and Rocky used the Dino power. The reason for this could have been thanks to the writers of the episode to give more diversity to the story by bringing together many Rangers from different teams. After 5 years, we had the special episode to celebrate the 30th anniversary of the franchise, and in this episode Kat also appeared. This was a bit of an impromptu thing, as the original plan was for Amy, the actress who plays Kimberly, to appear, but she decided not to appear in the episode. We don't know if the writers' original plans were for Kat to appear at some point, but we're guessing that, had Amy appeared in the episode, it's very likely that Kimberly would not have been kidnapped by Rita. In this special episode, Kat used a new power coin that Alpha and Billy made so that she and Rocky could use dino powers again. This was the first time she used the pterodactyl power coin, as she started out as a ranger with the ninja power coin. It was also the first time she used the power bow and the pterodactyl Zord. Something strange that happened in this episode is that Kat said that the putties sounded the same as always, but the reality is that she had never fought these monsters before. Although this was the last time we saw Kat in the TV series, in an episode of Power Rangers Zeo we are introduced to Kat and Tommy being old. They were both grandparents to 2 grandchildren, and one of those grandchildren was a Power Ranger. An important curiosity about the actress playing Kat is that she had auditioned to play Dulcia, but the producers felt she was too young for that character. However, when Amy decided to leave the series, the producers decided to contact Kat again since they had kept her information from that audition. Kat has been the only Pink Ranger to have been on 3 different teams using that same color. Trini Kwan, the Yellow Power Ranger in Mighty Morphin, is one of the most remembered characters in the history of the franchise, not only for her emotional strength and her big heart for wanting to help others, but also for the unfortunate event of the tragic death of the actress who played this character, Thuy Trang. Although many think she was a Japanese or Chinese actress, she was Vietnamese American. Trang was the last Asian actress to play a Yellow Ranger, since Asian people are derogatorily called yellow, and casting an Asian to play the Yellow Ranger offended many people. Speaking of the character, Trini was a quiet person, eager to help others and very strong emotionally. She was the 16-year-old daughter of a Taiwanese doctor and a Korean woman, who lived in 8 military bases for the past 15 years due to her father's work. Although she wasn't Chinese, nor Japanese, she still practiced many customs of these countries. When Zordon decided to choose Trini as a Power Ranger, he transported her to the command center along with her other friends. Some did not decide to believe in what was happening, but Trini decided to believe in Zordon and stayed at the command center to accept the challenge of being a Power Ranger. Quickly after agreeing to be a Ranger, Zordon transports her back to Angel Grove, where she had her first battle with Rita's warriors. At first it was difficult for her, but then she activated her morphosis and became the first Yellow Ranger of the entire franchise. With her morph now complete, she was able to defeat the enemies and master her battle mode well. Although Trini was not as gifted in intelligence as Billy was, we know that she was very intelligent. Because of this, Trini did things like changing the language of Alpha 5 to a language more up to date to that year. Despite being a brave young woman, Trini was afraid of heights, which led her to have many challenges. Rita took advantage of any weakness she could use against her. She was also challenged by her lack of self-confidence, which was due to Rita's spells, but Trini overcame it time and time again. One of the biggest challenges she had was when Rita took all of the parents, including Trini's parents, and this devastated her. Rita gave them a choice between their parents or the power coins, and Trini chose to give up her power coin. At the end of it all, they managed to get the parents back and also the power coins to continue fighting against Rita. Although this does not appear in the TV show, in the comics we are told that Trini was in love from the beginning with Jason, and they managed to kiss when their powers were exchanged, and she was the Red Ranger. After this, Trini and Jason thought it would be a bad idea to be together, since that could be a weakness that their enemies would use to attack them. Trini was a very attached person to her friends. She supported them in every event they had and was always there for them. She was very close to Kimberly, as they were the only 2 female Rangers on the team, and both worked hard to help clean up the environment. She was also close friends with Billy as they both had their great intelligence in common, and Trini would help Billy translate all the technical words in the speeches he gave about his inventions, and she would explain it in simpler words. In addition, she also helped him study for his exams and helped him with his projects. When Trini made her transfer of power to Aisha, the explanation that she, Jason and Zach gave was that they were going to a World Peace Summit in Switzerland, but in reality, they were going to form a new group of Rangers guided by the Blue Emissary, who was a representative of the Morphin Masters. If you want to know more about the Morphin Masters, you can search for this video in our channel. The Blue Emissary had asked Jason to help him repair all the damage that had happened in the grid due to the event with Lord Draken. The mission was to find people who had suffered changes and help them understand what was happening to them and guide them on the right path. When Jason heard about this mission, he wanted to do it alone or find a team other than his current Mighty Morphin team, as he didn't want to involve them because he knew this mission was going to be hard. Still, at one point Jason was in the command center talking to the Blue Emissary, and Trini and Zach walked in and saw them. Eventually, due to Trini's loyalty to her friends, she wanted to get involved with the new team, and they both told Jason that they would not leave him alone in this new mission. The three of them quickly took off into space to other planets in search of people who needed help. In one of the planets, they met Kia, an alien woman who had some great powers, but she didn't understand what was happening to her. The people of her village wanted to burn her as they thought she was a witch, but Jason, Trini, and Zach arrived to save her. Still, Kia gets desperate and creates an explosion with her powers and then hides. While Jason and Zach try to save people from the explosion, Trini was the only one who could convince Kia that they were there to help her and invited her to go with them in the ship. After having been through several worlds battling, they realize how great Kia's power is and invite her to join the new team they were forming. This new team was taken to a place deep in space by the Blue Emissary, who presented them with the gauntlets of the first Rangers, which had powers that came from wind, earth, water, and fire. Trini along with the others took their gauntlets and became the Omega Rangers, Trini being the yellow Omega Ranger with the power of Earth. Later, Jason would lose his connection to the Morphin grid and Trini would take the lead as the red Omega Ranger. After fighting for quite some time with different enemies, being the Red Ranger of the Omega Rangers, Trini still feels that she is not the right one to be the leader of the team. Fortunately, Zach has been with her all this time, telling her that she is a great leader and helping her to be strong. This friendship slowly turned into a romantic relationship, and then they started their relationship as boyfriend and girlfriend. In the special episode to celebrate 30 years of the franchise, Trini arrived along with the entire Mighty Morphin team to help Billy fight Rita. Unfortunately, in that battle, Rita launched a powerful attack towards Billy, but Trini noticed and quickly intercepted the attack. She gave up her life to save Billy as that powerful attack vaporized her and only her morpher remained. Trini had a daughter named Min, who earned the right to use her mother's morpher and become the new Yellow Ranger. The second Yellow Ranger of Mighty Morphin, Aisha Campbell, is also considered a legendary ranger, and despite possibly having the shortest history of the entire team, she still has more episodes than most of all the Rangers in the history of the franchise. This Yellow Ranger first appeared in episode number 22 of the second season of Mighty Morphin in November 1994 and participated in 72 episodes in the series, including the 8 episodes she appeared as a girl in Alien Rangers. She has also appeared in over 50 episodes of the comics, one movie in 1995 and in the special episode celebrating 30 years of the franchise. Aisha was Trini's successor, something very complicated since Trini won the affection of all the fans, and that's why it was such a big challenge to be the next Yellow Ranger. Despite this, Aisha managed to capture all the attention of the fans since her personality helped many to love her and give her the opportunity to be the new Yellow Ranger, something that was very difficult for Rocky. Like Rocky and Adam, Aisha started in Power Rangers after participating in a teen ninja fighting competition and was so good in her performance that Lord Zed took notice of her. Because of this, Lord Zed kidnapped the three of them and took them to the Dimension of Despair, but they were rescued by the Power Rangers. At that same moment, Tommy and Kimberly had to remove Billy's helmet, and this caused Aisha to discover the identity of the Power Rangers. Some time later, what we all already know happened, the transfer of power. This was a historic moment in Power Rangers in which Jason, Zach and Trini had to leave for a peace conference and transferred their powers to Rocky, Adam and Aisha. From that moment on, Aisha becomes the new Yellow Ranger and the second Yellow Ranger in the history of the franchise, although obviously in the Power Rangers universe she was not the second Yellow Ranger since there had been other Ranger teams before. Something interesting about this moment of the transfer of power is that the voice you hear when Trini is speaking is not that of Thuy Trang, the actress who played that character. As some of you already know, these three actors who played Jason, Zach and Trini were unable to renew their contract with the franchise due to monetary differences, so they had to use old scenes and other actors to portray the characters on the day of the transfer of power. After all the battles of the second season, in the third season Aisha acquires ninjetti powers and becomes a Yellow Ninja Ranger. This character never changed color and was always a Yellow Ranger in all her versions. Unfortunately, Aisha never had very important moments in Power Rangers, but she was always a beloved part of the team due to her great personality. It was never known what was the reason for the actress' departure from the series, but in the Alien Rangers season the character was turned into a girl and we didn't see the actress again until the special 30th anniversary episode. In that season of Alien Rangers, Aisha was sent to Africa to search for the Zeo crystal and then decided to stay there to help the animals. There she met Tanya and sent her with the Zeo crystal to the command center to replace her as a Power Ranger. In the Power Rangers Zeo season, Aisha sent a letter to the Power Rangers and in this way, they knew that she was also transformed into an adult again. After many years, Aisha appeared again in a special episode as part of SPA, which stands for Space Patrol Alpha, and they are the ones who were before SPD. Because Aisha and Adam were far away in space, they could not arrive in time to help the Rangers defeat Rita. After many hours they were able to reach Earth and Rita had already been destroyed, but Aisha had an important moment in that meeting. Aisha gave her blessing to Min so that she could continue the legacy of the new Yellow Ranger using the same power. In the 1995 movie, Aisha had a big part, and although at that point in the story many people still didn't know her, I think the movie helped everyone get to know her better. This Yellow Ranger had moments of great action, comedy and drama in what is called the best Power Rangers movie in history. In the comics, Aisha also had a lot of involvement, and in the last few episodes we got to see a romance between her and the new Green Ranger. Min is the last Ranger to join the Mighty Morphin team and the third Yellow Ranger of that same team. She is the daughter of Trini, the first Yellow Ranger in history and one of the most beloved Rangers in the franchise. Min's story takes place entirely in the special episode celebrating the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers, and in that episode, we could see a small part of the life of this Ranger. We must remember that in this episode only exactly 12 months elapsed since the first events were in 2022, and exactly 12 months later is that the second battle against Rita occurs, but this is without mentioning the events that were told as a memory of the past. All this lets us know that we only knew several months of Min's life and there is no additional information about this Ranger. It is for this reason that this story is very short, but very exciting and sad at the same time. It all starts at the moment when Rita prepares a very powerful attack to destroy Billy, but Trini realizes what Rita is preparing. We all know that Trini and Billy were always very good friends, so she did not hesitate to sacrifice her life in order to save her friend. The attack was so powerful that it generated a huge explosion, and this made Trini disappear completely, but her morpher was not destroyed. Trini's death devastated the Rangers, but after this is that we are shown that Trini had a very young daughter, and now the Rangers must give her the bad news. The dilemma they had was that in order to tell Min about her mother's death, they had to tell her the truth about the existence of the Power Rangers, and they didn't know what consequences this could have. Billy and Zack begin to argue as Billy wants to tell her the whole truth, but Zack thinks Min is too young to know all that information. Min arrives while they are arguing, and she overhears when they say that Rita killed Trini, so obviously it was the worst way to learn such difficult news. After this event, 12 months pass, and now we see that Zack moved in with Min to take care of her due to her still being a minor. During those 12 months Min was training as her only goal was to avenge her mother's death, and, in that training, we could see that she has exactly the same style as Trini. Min trained hard as her only goal was revenge, and this is very important for the story later on. Precisely that day the Rangers were going to visit Trini's grave to bring her flowers, and Min asks Zack if he had brought the flowers. At first Zack makes Min believe that he had forgotten the flowers, but this was a joke. As they walk to the cemetery, Min and Zack have a conversation, and she apologizes to him for making them late, but she confesses to him that she wasn't really looking forward to this day with much excitement. This is something quite obvious, since this is going to remind her of her mother's death, and it is a very sad thing for anyone. At that moment, Min and Zack realize that the Rangers were transforming, and that indicates that something bad was happening. They both hide behind Billy's car and realize that the Rangers were about to fight Rita. The evil witch had been hiding all this time, creating a plan to destroy the Rangers, and now she is ready to execute that plan. Rita had built a time travel machine using the power of the Rangers, and in order to accomplish this she begins to turn the Rangers into little figures. Zack, Billy and Min manage to escape using Billy's car, since this car can fly, and this way Rita cannot reach them. Although those scenes were very exciting and action-packed, at the end we are shown Trini's grave, and this made many fans sad. Then, Zack and Billy start to create a plan to be able to stop Rita, and here we start to see Min's real anger. She wants revenge on Rita and thinks the Rangers should destroy her, but the Rangers do not promote revenge. Min doesn't understand this, so she gets very angry and starts saying very inappropriate things. She tells Billy that Trini is dead because of him, and then enjoys the pain that the Blue Ranger felt when he heard these words. Min continues to train, but now that she knows Rita is back, she is more eager to fight. She realizes that the putties were at the juice bar attacking people, so she searches for her mother's morpher so she can transform into a ranger and destroy all the villains. When she arrives at the juice bar, the Rangers realize she was there, so they are going to have to rescue her. Before they arrived, Min tells the people in the juice bar to leave the place because she was going to destroy all the putties, and she was going to do it by transforming into a ranger. All the monsters were scared because she was going to transform, but when she made her first attempt, nothing happened. This is because she wanted to transform into a ranger only for revenge, and the ranger power is not for her own benefit, but to save other people. Because she couldn't become a ranger, Min tries to fight the monsters, and although she had some good moments in the fight, she was quickly defeated. Fortunately, Zack and Rocky arrived at the juice bar just in time and managed to destroy all the putties in a spectacular way. This was the first time Min had seen the Rangers destroy these monsters, as in the previous fight they were defeated by Rita and her two monsters. Although Min was happy to see the Rangers, Zack was very angry with her since she disobeyed him, and this put her in danger. Because of this, Zack and Rocky teleport to the command center, but take Min with them. This is the first time Min enters the command center, and Billy tells her that this is a secret place, but she treats him sarcastically. After this, Zack had a very serious conversation with Min, and there she mentions the desire for revenge she has, but he tries to explain to her what it means to be a Power Ranger. He also explains to her that Billy was just trying to bring Zordon back and tells her about the sacrifice Zordon made to save them all. These words begin to help Min understand the situation better, although this was not enough to quell his desire for revenge and his desire to destroy Rita. Because the Rangers left on a mission to Rita's palace, Min seizes the moment to escape from the command center. She used Billy's car and took the morpher again to try to transform herself. On the way she manages to save a man who was being attacked by the putties, and this she sees as Ranger training, but the reality is that she destroyed the monsters with the car. When Min arrives at the scene, Rita's monsters were trapped and her plan was to transform herself into a Ranger to destroy them. In this second attempt Min could not transform either, and her purpose was still wrong. At that moment Rita arrives, so Min decides to fight her even though she couldn't transform, and we quickly saw that this was a bad idea. Even though Min had trained for a long time, the reality is that she does not have the powers of a Ranger, and for this reason Rita easily defeats her. When the Rangers arrive at Rita's palace, they realize that Rita was there accompanied by her monsters and also Min, who had been kidnapped. The Rangers try to free Min, but they are easily defeated, and Rita prepares the same attack with which she had destroyed Trini, but this time she is going to destroy Billy. Min manages to free herself and decides to do exactly the same thing her mother did. She saved Billy from the attack. This time it was different. Something strange happened, and that is that the morpher that Min had in his pocket managed to absorb all the energy of the attack. The Rangers thought Min was dead, but she opened her eyes and began to remember her mother's whole life. When she stood up and grabbed the morpher, all the yellow energy began to enter her body. This meant that now the Yellow Ranger power was inside Min, and this time she could already transform. Zack tells her that she can already say the words, and now we see Min's first transformation as a Yellow Ranger. She had an awesome fight against all the monsters, and we could see that she could also use weapons. After this, the Rangers had to summon the Zords because Rita made one of the monsters grow giant. Min starts controlling the Megazord together with Billy, and they both start fighting the giant monster. The other Rangers join them after they had already destroyed the other monster, and together they manage to destroy the giant monster. When they arrive at the palace, Min acts quickly and manages to catch Rita, who everyone thought was dead, but she was still alive. Thanks to Min catching Rita, the other Rangers destroy the time machine and also destroy the evil witch. Later at the command center, the Rangers meet Adam and Aisha, and we can notice that Min's attitude has changed a lot. An important moment is that Aisha congratulates Min for continuing to carry on the legacy of Yellow Power. At the end of the episode, we could see Min, Zack and Billy sharing at the juice bar, and at this moment Min apologizes to Billy for all the inappropriate things he had said. The last time we saw Min was in Cosmic Fury when the Mighty Morphin team was helping in the battle with the Megazord, but there she only appeared transformed. If you like Min's story, like this video and subscribe for more Power Ranger stories.